This bipartisan deal struck over the weekend has concessions from both sides, yet you say that your fellow Republicans were, quote, outsmarted by the White House's negotiating team. What's missing from this deal that would turn your vote around?
Well, actual spending cuts are what's missing, because in this bill, there's actually no cap on the debt ceiling for the next 2 years. It actually adds $4 trillion to the debt based on the spending that is in the bill. And the other thing is that they are saying the clawbacks, the rescissions, getting unspent COVID funds from the state, that's a cut. That's not a cut. That's not what the American people are asking for. 63% of Americans want to see the federal government be more responsible with the money that it spends. They want to see spending cuts, and this bill does not do it.
What kind of cuts would you like to see?
Well, any kind of spending cuts at this point, we need to go back to pre-COVID levels. We saw record spending, emergency spending, upwards of 40% or $2 trillion over the last 2019 to 2023. We're averaging about $6 trillion a year in spending. We need to go back to pre-COVID levels, which is about $4.5 trillion. We need to show the American people that we will spend what we bring in. That's what I'm trying to teach my teenage kids, to live within your means. The federal government should do the same.
You're part of a growing coalition of Republicans who have publicly stated that you will not support this deal as is. Economists, as you well know, predict dire consequences globally if the U.S. doesn't pass this bill. Are you willing to let the nation go into default?
We're not going to go into default. That is just a scare tactic by the left. We have enough revenue coming in to cover our interest on the debt. That's not what's at stake here. If we were to not pass this bill, and I think this bill passes tomorrow, but if that were to happen, if we were to not pass the bill, we would just have to prioritize our spending by putting priority, obviously, on the interest on the debt, and maybe not pay for a few wasteful programs. I mean, that's how this works. We don't need to get the economy. We don't need to, really scare people or use that as a scare tactic, because that's not what's going to happen.
Is it a scare tactic from the left? I mean, Janet Yellen has said very clearly that as of June 5th, we'd run out of money, that we wouldn't be able to pay our bills.
Well, again, we have enough revenue coming in to cover our bills, starting with the interest on the debt, and we would have to prioritize our spending. If that means a couple of wasteful programs don't get paid for, I'm okay with that. I think most Americans would be. America wants us to cut spending.